Welcome to the Preppin Patriots Podcast.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Preppin Patriots Live Show. We're on episode 18, and as you can see, I am running solo tonight. Yep, Cameron's not here tonight, so I'm going to run this solo. I had something in the back burner as far as what topic I wanted to talk about. So we're going to get into that tonight. So hope everybody is doing well. Let's see. Let's get business out of the way. If you're hopping onto the live stream here, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, go ahead and let's knock some business out of the way. Give us those thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we like to make these conversations engaging. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, gripes, complaints, go ahead and put them into the chat. I will see them and we can have a conversation about it. So in any case, let's get going. So what are we going to talk about tonight? I'm going to start out with a story, kind of set this whole thing up, because I think what I have to discuss tonight, it relates to prepping, but it also relates to people as well. I know last podcast or last live stream, we talked about division and how divisive this world is. And then we're going to kind of carry it a little bit forward and talk about the types of people that, in my opinion, there's 4 types of people in this world. We're going to go through each one and we're going to take a little quiz. We're going to see which one you are, which one I am, and we're kind of just going to have a little fun with it. So like I said, chat's open. Go ahead and ask your questions if you want, but I'm going to start with a story. So I wrote this story. I don't have it memorized, so I'm not going to look at the camera. I'm actually going to read it. Okay, here we go. Once upon a time. Oh, and I'm a Star Wars fan, so I based this on Star Wars theme. I apologize if you are not a Star Wars fan, but too bad, so sad. It's my show. Okay, once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a small remote planet called Coruscant, a world that mirrored the eternal struggle between light and darkness. On this planet, the inhabitants unknowingly played crucial roles determining the fate of their world and the balance of the Force. In the heart of Coruscant, capital city, wise and compassionate leaders gathered, forming the Jedi Council. They were guiding light for the people of Coruscant, dedicating their lives to the pursuit of knowledge, peace, and the protection of the innocent. With their mastery of the Force, they sought to maintain balance and order in a galaxy fraught with turmoil. The common folk of Coruscant went about their daily lives, trusting in the Jedi Council to watch over them. Where's my place? Okay. They were innocent. They were the innocents who knew little of the dangers that lurked beyond the edges of their peaceful existence. However, hidden in the shadows, the Sith plotted and schemed. These cunning and ruthless beings craved power and dominance. However, these ruthless beings craved power and dominance, preying on the unsuspecting to further their own dark ambitions. Twisted by the dark side of the Force, they sought to disturb the balance maintained by the Jedi Council. Amidst the struggle between light and darkness, the Jedi Knights arose. With their keen sense and steadfast resolve, they devoted themselves to defending the innocent, safeguarding the delicate balance of the Force. Trained by the Jedi Council, these vigilant warriors were the first in line of defense against the Sith and their sinister plans. As the battle between Jedi and Sith raged on, the people of Coruscant faced a choice: follow the path of the Jedi Council, or to be led astray by the dark temptations of the Sith. To remain humble in the shadows of greater forces, or to rise as Jedi Knights who protect the innocent from harm. The choice was theirs, but one thing was certain: with each of them lay the power to change, to grow, and to rise above their circumstances. No matter the path they choose, they all had a part to play, a destiny to fulfill, and a journey to embark upon. And so, as the twin suns of Coruscant set on the horizon, casting their warm glow upon the landscape, the Jedi Council, the Jedi Knights, the Sith, and the people of Coruscant prepare for the trial that awaits them, united in their purpose and bound by the mystical energy of the Force, they stood ready to face the challenges of an ever-changing galaxy with courage, resilience, and hope in their hearts. Okay, kind of a lame story, but I wanted to draw a parallel between, in the story, there are 4 basically main types of characters. I'm going to take a drink. There are the Jedi Council, the Jedi Knights, the Sith, and the common folk, right? So you have those 4 types of people. I would like to parallel those in the world of emergency preparedness. So the Jedi Knights, and I titled this show Wolves, Sheep, Shepards, and Sheepdogs. And those are the 4 roles that I think people play in this world. I think people are either a wolf, they're a sheep, they play shepherds, or they're sheepdogs. In the context of emergency preparedness and crisis management, the four roles, wolves, sheep, shepherds, and sheepdogs, these could be understood as different types of individuals with like distinct characteristics and approaches to handling emergencies and crises and just life in general. They serve as kind of metaphors to illustrate the various attitudes and behaviors people exist during a crisis. So I kind of want to define these 4 roles. I want to define what they mean, and then we're going to talk about them a little bit. So let's start with the obvious, the wolves, or the Sith, the wolves, okay? Obviously, these are people, these are not very good people. Wolves represent individuals who may take advantage of chaos, may take advantage of chaos in emergencies for their own benefit. Often at the expense of others, they can be opportunistic, manipulative, and exploitive, using crisis situation to further their own interests. In some cases, they might actively contribute to the crisis, escalating tensions or creating additional problems. So that's my definition of a wolf. The sheep. The sheep symbolize those who are passive, vulnerable, or unprepared in the face of emergencies. They may lack the knowledge, skills, or resources to effectively respond to a crisis and may struggle to adapt rapidly to rapidly changing situations. Sheep often look to others for guidance and protection, which can make them susceptible to manipulation or exploitation by the wolves. So those are the sheep. Let's get into the shepherds. Shepherds are individuals who take responsibility for their own safety and the well-being of others during emergencies. They possess leadership qualities, the ability to make informed decisions, and the capacity to take decisive action in high-pressure situations. Shepherds are proactive in their approach to emergency preparedness, developing plans and gathering resources to ensure that they are equipped to handle a crisis. They often seek to educate and empower others to improve their own preparedness and resilience. And then you have my favorite, the sheepdog. The sheepdog serves as protectors and guardians during a crisis situation. They're vigilant, loyal, and courageous, stepping in to defend others from harm or danger. Sheepdogs possess a strong sense of duty and responsibility, often placing the needs of their community or loved ones above their own. They work alongside shepherds to guide, support, and defend the more vulnerable members of society as the sheep against the threats posed by wolves. My dogs are going nuts up there. Okay. So it kind of defines the 4 areas or the 4 types of people that I see in this world. Wolves, sheep, shepherds, and sheepdogs. Let's talk about the wolves. Wolves are bad, obviously. They're the people out there that prey on the weak, cause ruckus. They're just up to no good. And there's a ton of them out there. I think there's more wolves out there than ever before in today's society. The division we have in America and in the world is just full of wolves. And these guys are, if there was no wolves in the world, it'd be paradise. But unfortunately, we are human beings. We are infallible, sinful creatures. So there's going to be some in the pack. The sheep, I think, are most people, to be honest. Most people, I think, fit in the sheep category. And if you are a sheep or you identify as a sheep, it's not a bad thing. There are people out there whose roles are just who they are. They're passive. They play passive roles. They kind of go with the flow. They're kind of followers. Nothing wrong with that. Not a bad thing. They serve a purpose. They have their own lives. They're happy. Great. There's nothing wrong with being a sheep. But sheep need people to look out for them. Because if a sheep has nobody to follow, then they get lost. So that's where the shepherd comes in. That's kind of the leader, the guy who takes responsibility for the sheep and kind of serves as a role model. And then alongside the shepherd is my favorite, the sheepdog. The sheepdog is the fighter. He's the guy who will defend the sheep and defend the shepherd and just defend everybody, not even thinking about his own safety. He'll just go in there, and when he sees injustice, he gets ticked off, and he'll just go in and make it right. I wish the world had more sheepdogs, especially in today's society where, I mean, you watch on the news. I think I just watched the other day on the news. I mean, you see things like, oh, it was a woman that she's from here. She pulled out like almost her life savings to take a trip to is it Vietnam? I don't know. Across the country somewhere. Pulled it all out. Some dude literally stalked her for like 10 miles until he saw the opportunity to attack her, slam her on the ground, and take her money. And now that woman is paralyzed and may never walk again. To me, that if there are some sheepdogs around, or there are some people that had some courage, they can stop some of this stuff. And you rarely see people jump in. Instead, what you see is people with their phones just recording it. Instead of stepping in to the injustice, people would rather live stream it on Facebook, live stream it on YouTube, and not help at all. And they think they're doing their part. Well, I got it on film, so maybe they'll catch the guy. That's not a sheepdog. You're a sheep because you're scared. Like I said, I wish we had more sheepdogs in this world today. So what I kind of want to do is, I know some people that I've talked to about this, they think that they're one thing. They're like, oh yeah, I'm a sheepdog. Yeah, I'll fight anybody, or I'll get involved in injustice, no problem. They won't. Or they think that they're shepherds and they're not. Or they think that they're sheep and they're really wolves. They're just, wolves in sheep's clothing. So I actually have a little like self-assessment that I put together. It's simple 5 questions that we ask ourselves, and we have to be honest. I mean, this is a self-assessment, so you have to be really honest with yourself when you answer these questions. 5 questions. There's a score to each question, and then at the end we'll go over the results, and then we're going to get into like, if you take this, if you didn't think you were a wolf and you happen to be a wolf, there are steps you can take to not be a wolf. There are steps you could take if you're a sheep and you want to become a shepherd or a sheepdog. There are steps and things you can do in your life that you can work on and change. Everybody can change. Everybody can adapt who they are. So we're going to go through this self-assessment, and we're going to see where we all stand and where we are. So basically what we're going to do, the instructions are simple. Okay. The instructions are simple. Let me go here. So for each question, we're going to assign the following points to your chosen answer. So if you answer A, 1 point, B, 2 points, C, 3 points, D, 4 points. So I'll have these up on the screen. If you want to go ahead and just get a pen, paper, calculator, whatever, just answer, add your points up, and then we'll come back to the results. So we're going to get into question number 1. So during an emergency situation, I am most likely to A, take advantage of the situation for my own gain, wait for someone else to tell me what to do, assess the situation and make a plan to ensure my safety and that of others, or step up and protect others from harm or danger. Remember, be honest with yourself. Nobody's going to see these results but you. If you're not honest with yourself, this will not work. So, okay. Question number 2. My level of preparedness for potential emergencies is A, non-existent. I don't think about it at all. B, minimal. I know the basics, but haven't done much. C, moderate. I have a plan and some supplies. Or D, high. I'm well prepared with a plan, supplies, and training. Give you guys a minute for that. You know what? Let's get a little filler music coming in here. Can we do some filler? I think we can. Stream deck. Take this out to the am I back? Please tell me I'm back. Am I back? Check. Okay, I'm back. My audio software crashed, for crying out loud. Sorry about that. Well, we'll get into this. Go here. Okay. I'm just not going to touch it. All right, we won't do music. Okay, question number 3. When faced with a difficult decision in a crisis, did we already do this? No. I prioritize my own interest, even if it's at the expense of others, struggle to make decisions and look for someone else to take the lead. C, weigh the pros and cons and make the best decision for everyone involved. Or D, focus on protecting and supporting those in need. Did we already do? Nope, we didn't do that. Okay. So A, B, C, or D. Give you a minute. Yeah, okay, a little filler in there. Okay, cool. All right, question number 4. My willingness to help others during a crisis is low. I focus on my own well-being. B, moderate. I'll help if it does not put me at risk. C, high. I'm ready to assist and support others. D, very high. I prioritize the safety of others. Give you guys a second. Think about that. All right, and final question number 5. My involvement in the community preparedness initiatives is A, non-existent. I don't see the point. B, minimal. I am aware of them but do not participate. Moderate. I attend events or meetings occasionally. D, high. I actively participate and contribute to the community's preparedness. All right. Here we go. Remember, you answered A equals 1 point, B 2 points, C 3 points, D 4 points. Go ahead and add them all up, and you should get a final number. For you slow at math like myself, I'll give you a second to do that. You're going to range anywhere between 5 and 20 points? Yeah, 5 and 20 points. All right, here we go. So, if in your self-assessment you scored between 5 and 8 points, you are a wolf. 9 to 12 points, you are a sheep. 13 to 16 points, you are a shepherd. And 17 to 20 points, you are a sheepdog. I could tell you when I took this assessment, I scored 7. I was right at 17 points. And I agree with that. I mean, I consider myself a sheepdog because I got a temper and I hate injustice, and I've been in situations in my life where that sheepdog in me has come out. So in any case, like I said, that was just a real small little quiz to give you an idea of what category you fit into. So let me just go ahead and stop that music. But in any case, if you're like, JT, I took it and I'm a wolf. I'm a nice person, but I'm a wolf. That's okay. That's okay. You're not a horrible person. We're going to get into like how to improve. And if you're a wolf, not be a wolf, because wolves suck. So in any case, how not to be a sheep. Most people probably are sheep. I would venture to guess if you took that quiz, most people would probably be in the sheep category. Most people who I've given this to before that were honest with themselves had said, "Yep, I'm a sheep. I don't want to be a sheep anymore. How do I not be a sheep?" And remember, people, I should have clarified this earlier. We're talking in the sector of emergency preparedness, in crisis management. We're not necessarily talking about life. You know, it's in prepping. Has to do with prepping. Those questions were kind of revolved around like prepping. They're prepping kind of questions, and then in an emergency crisis situation. So just put that. We're working in that little box tonight. So we're gonna go through this. So if you're a sheep, you're like, you know, I don't want to be a sheep anymore. I don't want to be passive. I don't want to be a victim. You know, I want to either be a shepherd or a sheepdog. There are things you can do. And if you're new into prepping, or you're like, I am not prepared whatsoever for any type of crisis or anything like that. I'm a sheep when it comes to emergency preparedness and prepping. That's okay. Here we go. The people that are sheep, that category, there's several steps you could take to become less vulnerable to the wolves. And you can improve your overall preparedness and resilience during emergencies. So first thing you want to do is you want to educate yourself. Gain knowledge about potential threats. Don't have your head in the sand. So understand the potential threats, understand potential emergencies and disasters that are in your area and in the world. Understand the risks and learn how to mitigate them. Familiarize yourself with like official guidelines and recommendations for handling various types of emergencies. So like just educate yourself. It's not hard. Information out there. 98% of it is free. Just takes a little time. Just educate yourself on what's going on in the world. And then once you educate yourself and you understand the potential threats and emergencies and disasters that are out there, develop a plan. Just develop a plan. Create a comprehensive emergency plan for you and your family. Evacuation routes, communication strategies, meeting points. Ensure that everybody in your household understands the plan and practice it. I mean, that's the key, practice it. And that, you know what, that may sound like dumb, right? I mean, that may sound dumb. Like when I watch stuff on, I really like the Doomsday Prepper show, not because like I look up to those people. I don't. It's entertaining. But it's funny to see they all have plans and they all like practice their plans and they run drills and things like that. And I was in the military for 10 years. That's all we did. I mean, it's drill after drill, drill after drill, practice, repetitive till it was seared in our brain. I mean, the military does it. They practice. They do training drills. They do all that stuff. If the military does it, there's a purpose and there's a reason. Because when the real thing comes and happens, those procedures are drilled into your head so much that they become almost second nature. So practice your emergency plan. Okay. Once you have a plan, assemble an emergency kit. You know, you're going to want to put together a kit, some kind of emergency kit. Bug out bags, get home bags, everyday carry bags, you know, emergency bag. You're going to want to put together a kit. Put together a well-stocked emergency kit containing essentials. You want food, water, medicine, first aid supplies, clothing, documents, you know, copies of passports, copies of socials, copies of birth certificates, and make sure they're easily accessible and updated regularly. Like I live in Wisconsin, so my get home bag that I keep in my truck, you know, in the wintertime, there are winter style things in there. We're coming out of winter into spring. It's about time that I start rotating that winter stuff out and put more spring stuff in there. I also keep like energy bars and stuff in there. I rotate those. I need to rotate those out. So you're going to want to rotate your kits. On top of educating yourself, like you don't just do that once. So once you educate, you develop a plan, you assemble a kit, you want to continue to stay informed. So you want to monitor the news. You want to monitor the weather, any emergency alerts, stay informed about potential threats, and situations that are unfolding. Like I always am keeping an eye on like what's going on in the situation and, you know, with Ukraine. I'm always monitoring what's going on with Israel, China, like geopolitical stuff. I just monitor that stuff that's happening at home on the domestic front with like right now, Trump is potentially getting arrested. You know, if he does, then we talked about it a little bit last show, you know, that could cause civil unrest and unrights. And just because I live in Wisconsin, I live north of Milwaukee, in a smaller town, but that doesn't mean that unrest can't happen in my small town. I mean, just look at Kenosha, Wisconsin, a couple of years ago. Like there were riots and looting and shootings and all that stuff there that made national news, and that was Kenosha, and it's not a big city. So just because you live in a small city or suburb doesn't mean that unrest can't come to you. And then there's the emergency weather, stuff like that. I mean, look at just this past winter, like California got slammed with all that water. I mean, have you seen the images of like all of the levees and all that just bursting and flooding and all? I mean, I think every area on the continent has a potential for a weather disaster in some way, shape, or form. Some are different areas. Others are prone to tornadoes. Some are prone to tsunamis and hurricanes and all that. But I think understanding that type of threat is good. So anyway, stay informed. Next thing you want to do, and this one might be a little harder. I'll admit this one might be a little bit harder. You want to build a support network. Establish a network of friends, of family and friends, and some neighbors who can help support each other during emergencies. Share resources, share your knowledge, share your skills, and better prepare to better be prepared to respond to crisis. And I say this one's hard because, you know, we in the prepping community, like we try not to like broadcast to the entire world, hey, look at us, we're preppers. I mean, that's kind of hypocritical for me to say because I'm literally broadcasting out to the world on this platform that I'm a prepper. But I assume that risk. Most preppers stay pretty quiet. They're closet preppers, and they don't tell anybody. But I think there are ways that you can have conversations with friends and family, just from a cautionary standpoint, without revealing to them that you're a prepper. Just having conversations about like, if there was, you know, if I'm in Wisconsin, so if there's 6 feet of snow that snows on the ground and we're snowed in, like, what's our plan if we can't get out and go shopping for food? Like, let me ask my father-in-law, hey, do you guys, I mean, how much food do you guys keep? You know, blah, blah, blah. There are conversations you can have. So try to build that support network. Online is a great for digital virtual support. You know, there's tons of Facebook groups out there, preparedness groups. The Prepper Broadcasting Network is a really, really good resource to get involved and get like connected with like-minded people. And even if you're brand new, we as a community love helping and educating new people that are coming into this lifestyle and want to learn more about the different areas of preparedness. So you can even start there. Start with online Prepper Broadcasting Network. You can lots of YouTube channels that that are dedicated to prepping, city prepping, Warrior Poet Society. Like there's all kinds of them out there. So just, I mean, a simple Google search, you'll find them. Okay. So, learn the basics. So as you educate yourself, you develop a plan, you get some gear, you're building a support network. You want to learn some stuff. You want to actually learn some skills, first aid skills, life-saving skills, how to start a fire with, a stick, a rope and some wood, how to do a bow drill, like just different skills like that. Go camping. Camping is the easiest way to learn some basic skills of how to make a fire and how do I cook over a fire and how do I, keep stuff charged, and like, there's really simple ways to like learn basic skills that are that could be life-saving in a disaster situation. You want to, going along with like, staying informed, you want to improve your situational awareness. So practice being aware of your situation, identify potential hazards, recognizing signs of danger. The heightened sense of awareness can help you react more quickly and effectively in a crisis situation. Remember, we're talking about sheep. These are things that sheep can do to not be sheep anymore. Participate in community preparedness initiatives. Do you have anything locally that, any local prepping clubs, you can get into those, or you can stay on the Facebook stuff. And then you want to cultivate a proactive mindset. Shift from a passive to proactive approach to emergency preparedness. Take responsibility for your safety and well-being and actively seek ways to improve your readiness and resilience. So those are like 9 steps. You know, by taking some of these steps, individuals, you know, that are sheep category can become more self-reliant and better equipped to handle emergencies, reducing their vulnerability to the wolves and contribute to the overall safety and well-being of their community. So that's the sheep. If you're a sheep, you follow those 9 things, you will at least be a more effective sheep and on your way to graduating into a shepherd or sheepdog. If you're a wolf, let me talk to my wolves out there. If you're a wolf and you're like, I don't want to be a wolf anymore. Or I took the quiz and I'm like, I'm not a bad person. I'm in this category. How do I not be a wolf? Okay. Here are some things that you guys can do to get out of the wolf category. Self-awareness, recognize and acknowledge any opportunistic or exploitative tendencies. Reflect on how your actions may have negatively affected others during emergencies and strive to understand the consequences of such behavior. Develop empathy and compassion. This is a big one. This is hard. Focus on cultivating empathy for others by placing yourself in their shoes and consider their feelings, needs, and perspective. Actively practice kindness, understanding, and compassion in your daily life. This basically translates to try to be a good human being. Try to work on your emotional intelligence, putting yourself, like it said, putting yourself in other people's shoes. Maybe not pausing what comes out of your mouth for a couple seconds so your brain can catch up and then speak. A lot of times wolves will they speak faster than their brains can even process what they're saying. All right. Prioritize the well-being of others. Shift your mindset from self-interest to welfare of others. Especially during emergencies, recognize the importance of cooperation and collaboration for the safety and well-being of the community as a whole. Embrace responsibility. Take responsibility for your own safety and the safety of others. Develop a sense of accountability and consider the impact of your actions on those around you. Educate yourself. Learn about emergency preparedness and potential risks in your area. Gain knowledge and skills that can help you contribute positively during an emergency, such as first aid, CPR, and basic survival skills. Get involved in community initiatives. Try to develop leadership qualities. Now, this one, I'm going to speak on this one because some wolves are actually natural born leaders. They're just have bad tendencies. There are a lot of wolves that are really good leaders because wolves typically run in packs and there's a pack leader. And some of you are pack leaders out there. You're pack leaders of your wolf pack. And if you are out there and you're like, I don't want to be a wolf. I'm tired of treating people like garbage. I'm tired of being selfish. I'm tired of this. I want to be part of the solution, not the problem. Work on your leadership qualities, but instead work on building leadership skills. And you probably already have these because if you're a leader of a wolf pack, but if you're not a wolf pack leader, and you're just a wolf, here's some leadership skills. Work on communication, decision-making, and problem solving. A strong leader is able to guide and support others during challenging situations. So take some responsibility, grow up, be an adult, and make some decisions. Personal growth. Engage in self-reflection. Set personal goals. Work on self-improvement. This can involve seeking guidance from mentors, reading self-help books, and attending development workshops. Now, a lot of wolves won't do this if they're not serious about it because this requires vulnerability. That's the big thing about leadership. Leadership is a vulnerable position. It's not this position where you're looked up at and it's not something to be praised. I mean, it's a very humbling position to be in a position of leadership. So the personal growth thing is going to be a tough one for people. But if you practice all these things and you start getting better, you want to practice your resilience. Learn how to adapt to changing situations and overcome adversity. Building resilience can help you respond more effectively to emergencies and inspire others to do the same. So if you're a wolf, follow those 9 things and you won't be a wolf anymore. But it's going to take you a while. To all my shepherds out there, you're already in this category. But if you're out there and you're like, I want to be a better shepherd, I want to be a better leader, I want to do it better. What are some things I can do? You know, obviously you want to continue to strengthen and develop your leadership qualities, such as divisiveness, adaptability, emotional intelligence. Invest time in learning about various leadership styles and methods to find the most effective approach to different situations. Number 2, you can improve communication, work on refining your communication skills, both verbal and nonverbal. Nonverbal communication is huge. Clear, concise, and empathetic communication is crucial in emergency situations. Practice active listening and ensure you can effectively convey important information to others. Continue learning. We're always learning. I mean, as preppers, we're always learning. If you're sitting out there and you're like, I know everything there is, then you're not a shepherd. So you want to continue learning. You want to encourage and mentor others. There's such a huge benefit to mentorship. When you take somebody who is not on your level, doesn't have your skill set, or wants to be where you are, and they choose you as their mentor, it's so rewarding to be able to raise somebody up and teach them and train them and just dump all of your knowledge into them. It's so rewarding. So find somebody you can mentor. Find a mentor or somebody you can mentor. Be open to that. So where am I at? Work on managing stress, managing your stress. Like, learn how to compartmentalize your stress, because in a high pressure situation, like, it's stressful. And if you don't know how to manage that, people break down and they freeze. So manage stress, maintain mental well-being, develop healthy coping mechanisms and stress management techniques to maintain your own mental health well-being during emergencies. This can help you remain calm, focused, and effective in high pressure situations. And I'm sorry, guys, like, if this seems like I'm reading bullet points, because I am. I wrote all this stuff up. I can't memorize it. So I'm literally just reading what I wrote down, and I'm trying to do it without being super boring. So, and last one for shepherds is you want to evaluate and learn from your experiences. Like, after an emergency or crisis, take the time to evaluate your response and identify areas of improvement. Reflect on lessons learned and incorporate them in your future plans and strategies. There's something to say. I mean, this is why football teams watch their games back. This is why pro gamers, and I say gamers because I do a lot of gaming online, they don't get better by playing the game for 12 hours. They get better by playing, recording it, watching it, learning from their mistakes, and then they change the next time they play. It's a proven fact. If you reflect on your decisions throughout the day, you identify mistakes, you identify the good decisions and the bad decisions. It is known that if you do that habitually, you will get better. So there's some tips for my shepherds. And then the sheepdogs. If you're a sheepdog like me, here are some things you can do. 'Cause sheepdogs, it's kind of a double-edged sword. So sheepdogs like me tend to be guys like I flare up at injustice. I do. I really, really do. But if I'm not careful, I'm not constantly training my mind, and I'm not constantly trying to discipline my mind, and I start going down the wrong path or make a stupid decision and start getting hooked up with the wrong crowd or whatever, a sheepdog could very easily turn back into a wolf. If mentally and emotionally they're not stable and they hit crisis or something really hits home personally with them, they can get bitter, they can get angry, and they can go right back into that wolf category and be lethal. Shepherds that turn back into wolves are lethal. But some of the things that you can do as a sheepdog, okay? And I need to work on some of this stuff too, especially this first one. Maintain physical and mental fitness. Stay in good physical shape and practice regular exercises to ensure you're prepared for the demands of emergency situations. Also pay attention to your mental well-being, developing healthy coping mechanisms and stress management techniques. I personally need to work on that one because physically I am fat and I don't want to be fat anymore. So I need to get me a rowing machine and just that's it. I mean, I need to work on my physical well-being, and I need to work on my mental well-being. I mean, to work on your mental fitness. It's not just meditation. Like, have people you can talk to, have other shepherds that you've identified in your life that you can talk to about stuff. Trusted family members, spouses, plenty of resources out there to help maintain a good mental state. All right, develop and refine protective skills. Continuously work on improving your protective and defensive skills. This may include self-defense, training, first aid, and CPR, and other relevant skills that can help you safeguard others during emergencies. Take jiu-jitsu. Not only is it going to help you get physically fit, but people that are good at jiu-jitsu are freaking dangerous. Enhance situational awareness. This is the natural thing. Practice being more aware of your surroundings, recognize potential threats and identifying signs of danger. Developing strong situational awareness can help you react quickly and effectively in a crisis situation. First thing I can think of is a real simple thing. If ever I go out to a restaurant, I always try to sit where I can see my exits and entries. I want to see who's walking in. I don't want my back to the entry point. I want to be able to see it because I want to know who's coming in and out. I want to be able to identify potential suspicious people and keep my eye on them. So that's one little tip there. Excuse me. Wow. Engage in continuous learning. Stay informed about the latest developments in emergency preparedness, disaster response, and crisis management. Attend workshops, seminars, and conferences to expand your knowledge and stay up to date with the best practices. That's pretty simple. Collaborate with shepherds and other experts. This is where having a really good mentor in your life can really benefit. Connect with individuals who have expertise in emergency preparedness and response. Learning from their experience and gaining knowledge, building strong connections can lead to more effective collaboration during a crisis. Educate others about, this is the next one. Educate others about safety. So this is where mentorship comes in. Like, educate others about safety and protection. Share your knowledge and expertise with others, helping them to develop skills and awareness needed to protect themselves and their loved ones during emergencies. Promote community preparedness. Advocate for greater community awareness. Engage in preparedness for emergencies. Participate in local events, workshops, or presentations to educate and empower others in your community. Practice adaptability and decision-making. Be prepared to adjust your plan and strategies as situations change. Learn to make quick, informed decisions based on new information or changing circumstances. And finally, reflect and learn from your experience. After an emergency crisis, take the time to evaluate your response and identify areas of improvements. Reflect on the lessons learned and incorporate them into your future plans and strategies. So those are some tips for the sheepdogs. Now, to wrap up, I had a whole nother segment, a whole nother thing planned for tonight. And then we kind of just threw this together last minute. So again, I apologize if seems like I'm just reading from a screen, because I was, and I'm not my normal, like, chipper self. But I wanted to get something out there because I think this is important. I think identifying these types of people in the world and understanding who they are, what their role is, and then how to change and how to improve. I think it's important for people to understand that. And if you're out there in whatever category you fit into, all I could say is this: find somebody or find a group of people that you can relate with. If you're new into prepping, or you're new into this emergency preparedness, or you look at the world and you're like, this world is freaking nuts, because it is. It's freaking nuts right now. And if you have any ounces of concern, like you're concerned about what's going on with Russia, with China, with Israel, with Taiwan, with North Korea, geopolitical things, the economy, right? Who knows what's going to happen with the economy? I mean, the Fed just boosted interest rates again for like the 9th time, even though there are failing investment banks. They are dead set on bringing inflation back under control, and everything is pointing towards a lot of pain in the future, like a lot of pain. And I think it could be, at least a 2008, maybe worse. This isn't meant to drive fear into anybody, but I remember 2008. I was young. I didn't have a retirement account. I didn't lose half my retirement. I didn't lose my job. Like none of that happened to me. But now that I have a family and I have a mortgage and I have debt and things like that, like I'm concerned that in the near future, economically, we're in for some pain. And that's why I'm continuing to get this instead of this. I started buying silver again, and I'm hedging, and I'm doing that just to hedge against what could potentially be coming our way. Because if you think about it, if a loaf of bread cost you this, right? Today, if it cost you this, and let's just say this piece of silver was worth the same amount of money. So this is a $20 piece of silver. This is a $20 bill. If bread is now $40, whenever there's inflation, price of precious metals go up too. So now you need 2 of these, but I don't have 2 of these. But the value of this becomes 2 of these. And I don't need more of these, which is why I keep silver around. Do I put my entire savings account in silver? No, it's just a hedge. It's just a hedge. I just keep a percentage of the things I make, and I get some silver because it's a long-term thing, and that's just what I choose to do. So, I mean, this is just me, guys. But in any case, this world's freaking nuts. So I would say to you guys, if you have any concern about the future, right, look into things you can do to be better prepared. If you're new, like I said, plenty of resources out there to get you up to speed on what this whole lifestyle is. Just because I call myself a prepper doesn't mean I'm some doomsday prepper with a bunker in my backyard and, more guns than I need, more ammo than I need. Like, I'm not that. I don't have a bunker yet. I don't think I can build one in this municipality. That'd be cool, though. But the point of what I'm trying to make is I stay aware. I'm continuing to prepare, continuing to freeze dry food. Just tilled up the garden, and we're going to do a really big garden this year because I want to do a lot of food preservation. And part of the reason why we did a large garden, I mean, this garden's like almost 5,000 square feet. It's way too big for a family of 3, but I want to grow a crap ton of food. I want to can a bunch of tomatoes. I want to can a bunch of corn. I want to give a bunch of it away to the neighbors and use that as like a opportunity to engage in maybe some emergency preparedness conversation with the neighbors. Like, hey, if the power goes out, buddy, I got our neighbors next door to us. They're an elderly couple. I want to start a conversation with them that says, hey, if anything were to ever happen, if we were to lose power for an extended period of time or whatever, just come to our house. We got food, we got water, we got generators, we got things that, we can make you comfortable and all that stuff. You can take shower, you can do all, we can help you. That's the biggest thing in this community, I think, that needs a little bit more improvement. There are people out there who are preppers that are these lone wolves, pardon the pun of the wolf, but they want to keep quiet. They want to basically not tell anybody they're preppers, and for good reason, depending on where you are. I take another stance. I take the opposite stance. I want to be, how do I put this? In my preparedness, I want to be a generous prepper, meaning I want to be able to engage with the people around me and build community, and it's a strategy of mine. Because in a grid down scenario or SHTF, or if the world goes to hell in a handbasket, you're not going to be able to do it on your own. You just can't. You can't survive on your own. You have to have community. You have to have people that can supplement your weaknesses. And getting yourself out there, having the conversations with people, friends, family, things like that, letting them know, hey, I have an emergency preparedness mindset. I like to stock food and stuff. I'd like to talk to you about it and plan and strategize and stuff like that. That just helps build your community. So when a crisis does happen, you guys can come around as a circle of community and help each other out. So in any case, but with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up because I think I've talked enough. My mouth is super dry, but next week, Tuesday. Do not miss next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday is going to be cool because we have our first guest. And we're going to be going into, as we talk about emergency preparedness and what's going on in the world, we're going to hit on an area that we haven't hit before. We're going to hit on it from a biblical perspective. Like, the Bible is full of like prophecies and cool stuff that tells us what's coming, right? No, we're not going to shove biblical scripture down your throat. This isn't going to be a sermon. This is going to be me interviewing this person with Cameron, and I'm going to ask all types of questions. And we did the pre-interview on Tuesday, and it was super good. Cameron and I are both pumped, so you don't want to miss Tuesday's broadcast. We'll probably come on around 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and then wherever else you live in time zones, you do the math. But in any case, guys, don't want to miss Tuesday's broadcast. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, do whatever. If you want to know how to get in contact with us, in the description of the live stream and in Facebook of the video, there's a link to our link tree, which is basically all of our platforms that we're on. Go ahead and pick one, and you can get into contact with us that way. So in any case, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with me for an hour, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to the Preppin Patriots podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a 5-star review. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do so at contact@preppinpatriots.stream. And finally, this episode was sponsored by nobody.